Dear students, myself Rajkumar Mishra, Associate Professor, MT College of Pharmacy, currently taking microbiology in B Pharma second year, 303T code. I am starting with the introduction of microbiology, the subject, Unit 1, content, introduction of microbiology. Dear student, you might have learned in earlier classes regarding the microbes, as microbes are responsible for causing diseases. So basic knowledge it is being given in earlier classes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So and in the form of discipline it is launched in the pharmacy curriculum as a code BP303T. So dear student, if we start with the introduction of microbiology, so first of all I would like to give you the definition of microbiology, that microbiology is the branch of biology which deals with the study of microbes. Microbes means which are too small to be seen by our naked eyes, जो हमारे आंखों से दिखाई नहीं देता है, उसे देखने के लिए हमें किसी एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी रिजोल्यूशन पावर की जरूरत पड़ती है. तो ऐसे माइक्रो जर्म्स को क्या कह देते हैं हम, माइक्रोब्स. ये नाउ the question arises, what are these microbes and where they are basically found, and what are their types. So one by one I will let you know. Microorganisms are basically of 5 types named as bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoa, algae, and the basic habitat of these microorganisms generally they found everywhere: soil, water, air around us. Dear student, microorganism having very crucial role on us. That's why the need of studying them arises, because without any need we can't study anything. They have aspect of concern over it, that they cause diseases. In early stage or early man time period of life evolution, they thought that something is there which make us ill. कुछ है जो हमें बीमार करता है, but in scientific way they don't know what are that things which make them ill. But later on, with the discovery and evolutionary changes taken place, and scientists came to know that these are the microorganisms, means two small organisms which cannot be seen by our naked eyes, but they are having life in them, and they can make us ill by infecting us. And with the help of later on, with the help of microscope, their structure, function, and surface morphology have been studied. So dear student, first of all, Antony van Leeuwenhoek given the term any molecule to do these microorganisms, and he studied structure of certain fungi with the help of microscope he built. And after that, evolutionary changes and evolutionary concern over microorganisms taken place. Step by step, the discipline microbiology evolved so much that today we are getting vaccines, antibiotics. These are contribution of microbiology itself. So dear student, I hope you all understand the definition, that it is the branch of biology which deals with the study of small germs or organisms which cannot be seen by our naked eyes. ऐसे ऑर्गेनिज्म जो हमें दिखाई नहीं देते स्वयं की आंखों से, जिन्हें देखने के लिए हमें एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी रिजोल्यूशन पावर सच एज माइक्रोस्कोप की जरूरत पड़ती है देखने के लिए. दैट माइक्रोऑर्गेनिज्म आर नोन एज that germs are known as microorganisms. और कितने टाइप्स के हैं? बेसिकली 5 टाइप्स: बैक्टीरिया, फंगी, वायरस, प्रोटोजोआ, एल्गी. One by one we will study regarding them. Now the characteristics of microorganisms. The next topic is the next heading over this is characteristics. What are the basic properties of microorganisms? So the properties of microorganisms are that first, they are too small to be seen by our naked eyes, means they required microscope for their study. Second, they may be unicellular or multicellular, means they may be having single cell or multi-cell. They may be eukaryotic or prokaryotic. Pro means which do not have वेल डिफाइंड न्यूक्लियस, जिसपे न्यूक्लियस अच्छे से वेल डिफाइंड नहीं है, वो क्या कहलाते हैं? प्रोकैरियोटिक. यूकैरियोटिक मींस व्हिच आर हैविंग ट्रू न्यूक्लियस, वेल डिफाइंड न्यूक्लियस अलोंग विद द सेल बाउंडेड ऑर्गेनेल्स, जिसके सेल मेम्ब्रेन बाउंडेड ऑर्गेनेल्स है, सब कुछ वेल डिफाइंड है, वो क्या कहलाते हैं? यूकैरियोट्स. प्रोकैरियोट्स मींस which do not have cell bounded organelles, which do not have true nucleus, they are known as prokaryotes, having member bacteria, and eukaryotes having member algae, fungi, and rest plants, animals. These are all belongs to eukaryotes because they are having true nucleus and cell bounded, cell membrane bounded organelles and well defined structures, whereas in case of prokaryotes there is no well defined structure such as mitochondria, chloroplast. All these organelles are absent, whereas in the eukaryotes all these organelles are well defined and present. So dear students, this is the second property, means they may be single cell or multi cell, such as single cell bacteria, multi-cell algae, fungi. Got it? Next property is they may be belongs to they may perform asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction. Both mode of reproduction are found in microorganisms. They may be divide themselves or produce themselves by asexually or sexually. Both way of reproduction processes are present in microorganisms. So this is the third property. Next property is that microorganisms may be fragile or beneficial, means they may be beneficial for us or may be harmful for us. For example, E. coli, the digestive gut bacteria, is very beneficial for us. It helps in digestion, whereas in another hand, deadly germs which are responsible for food poisoning, bacteria, these are very harmful for us. So they may be harmful or beneficial. It is the next property. Next heading, if we move, then it is that scope of microbiology. Dear student, microbiology is having crucial scope over the time. It is the first scope is of microbiology is dairy product. Second, in the agriculture field known as agriculture microbiology. Third, in the field of environment, that is environmental microbiology. Fourth, in the field of industry, that is industrial microbiology. And next, in the field of immunity, that is immunological microbiology. So these are the basic scope of microbiology, in which microbiology is studied with the help of the scope, the work crucially it is having there. On the basis of that, the branch is established. So first of all, if we discuss is dairy product, that in which way the dairy product are being made with the help of microbes and where they are being used. So if we talk about the dairy product, dear student, dairy products, the first product which came into our concern is curd. Curd is formed with the help of lactobacillus bacteria, which convert casein, the milk protein, into the unbranched chain, which known as curd. The straight chain is converted to the unbranched small structure, and that is known as curd. Lactobacillus bacteria, actually it makes the casein, the milk protein, converted into the small chain, and the milk converted to the curd. And the curd is the main part of our daily food for providing us basic need of our balanced diet. As you all know, curd is being fed by all people. Next, the dairy product which are being provided by microbes is bread. It is given by yeast, single cell fungi, as I earlier told with when I discussed definition that many microorganisms may be single cell or multi cell. So yeast, one of the exception in microbiology, that it belongs to fungi, but it is a single cell yeast, and the multi cell fungi is mold, and it is single cell fungi yeast. So when yeast is converted, it used glucose as an energy source, and it release CO2, and that CO2 is used to swell that फ्लोर जो आटा हम लेते हैं उसमें जो अगर जो है ये ईस्ट ग्लूकोज एज एनर्जी सोर्स यूज करके CO2 रिलीज करता है, जिसके कारण वो फ्लोर जो है हमारा वो स्वेल अप हो जाता है, और स्वेल अप होने के कारण इट लुक्स लाइक अ फ्लफी ब्रेड. सो ब्रेड is given by yeast. It is the one of the dairy product. Next, it helps in the fermentation process where ethanol is the byproduct. So you see how yeast beneficial is for us with the help of fermentation, where byproduct ethanol, the crucial chemical for the medicinal purpose as well as for beverages, ethanol is produced. Next, scope of microbiology is the agriculture microbiology. So if we talk about agriculture beneficial role of microbes, in agriculture, dear students, microbes are used to increase the fertility of soil. You know fertility? Properties of soil to grow more crops. Means it gets nutritional value with the help of microbes, which helps in the growing of better production of crops. With the help of nitrification, providing nitrogen, with the help of nitrobacter, and rhizobium, nitrogen fixation bacteria found in leguminous plants in the root. So these are the example which enhance the fertility of soil of our crop field, which leads to the better production. So you have seen that how crucial microorganisms are for us. They help us in crop production, they help us in decomposition, dust, they decompose all dust and sewage, which leads the better environmental to diminish the pollution. Otherwise, what happened? Lots of dust and sewage will be spreaded over the environment, and we fall ill because of bad smell and bad byproduct of that. So, dear student, microorganisms next helps in the decomposition of raw material spreaded over the fields, dust, sewage, garbage, which they decompose and convert into the biodegradable form. So dear student, next the scope of microbiology comes in the form of industrial microbiology. In industry, microorganisms are used to produce various chemicals such as vinegar, ethanol, for preparing various medicines in fermentation unit. Antibiotics production is also the case of microorganisms for fermentation. In next, immunology, the basic and crucial role of microorganisms is providing vaccine for us. With the help of small innate form of microorganisms, we produce vaccine for curing various diseases. And nowadays, as various vaccines are coming for deadly diseases, which prevent that diseases to spread all over world, such as rabies, polio, and polio vaccine eradicated polio from all over the world. It is one of the wonderful achievement of vaccine itself. So dear student, I hope you all understand the scope of microbiology. First in dairy, second in agriculture, third in decomposition of waste, fourth in industry, fifth in immunology. So these you will have to mug it out or take in your mind that it is having 5 basic scope That first in dairy, second in agriculture, fourth, third in decomposition of waste, fourth in industry, and fifth in immunology. Next, if we move towards next heading in the introduction of microbiology is the characteristics and types of microorganisms explanation in deep. If first of all, if we take bacteria, so bacteria is the microorganisms which belongs to the prokaryotic type of cell. It do not having true nucleus and not having also cell membrane bounded organelles, means mitochondria, chloroplast are absent in this. Bacteria is having various shapes and size from 0.5 nanometer to various sizes it is present, but very primitive and small in size, such as rod shape, spherical shape, and cone shape. So E. coli, rods, Micrococcus, spherical bacteria, these are the shapes of bacteria. And for recognizing bacteria, certain techniques are being evolved later on, which are known as staining. With the help of staining techniques, dear student, we can identify the types, various types of bacteria, as which class it belongs, whether it is gram negative or gram positive, or which may be the type. According to the name of scientist, the staining technique is called as gram positive or gram negative. It is having three types basically: staining, simple staining, differential staining, and acid-fast staining. In simple staining, only one type of dye is used. For example, safranin or crystal violet, only one kind of dye is used, and if bacteria is present in the sample, it will get stained and will be visible under the microscope. In next type, in differential type of staining, one is gram positive staining and gram negative staining, and the third type is acid fast staining. These are the three basic techniques, dear student, which are used to differentiate or identify bacteria. Now I would like to tell you one thing, the very interesting things in bacteria or all microorganisms, that if the chloroplast, which cytoplasm present inside the membrane, is 90% water, it is transparent. अगर ये ऐसा नहीं होता तो कभी भी हमें बैक्टीरिया डिफरेंशिएट करने के लिए अचीवमेंट प्राप्त नहीं हो पाता, क्योंकि वो ट्रांसपेरेंट है। इसी वजह से हमारी जो बाहर की डाई है उसमें जा करके उसे कलर कर पाती है, देन ओनली वी विल एबल टू डिफरेंशिएट दैट. सो the 90% part of chloroplast inside the membrane is what? Water. That's why we will able to stain that. In staining, if we talk about the gram staining, what the process is, that first of all, crystal violet is taken along with the crystal violet is stained with the in the bacteria sample, already formed smear. First of all, we take bacteria sample in slide, and then what we do, we put it on the flame for just not to killing the bacteria, just fixing the bacteria. It is called as smear formation. First of all, what we will take the bacteria over the glass slide and we just put it on near the flame for a minute time of period, so that it get fixed, so that it cannot move from one place to another, but not killed. We will have to take care that the time period of that smear with the flame is too short, so that it do not get killed, only fixed. So smear is framed, and that smear then allowed to stain with the crystal violet along with the potassium iodine solution. And after that, what happened, dear student, first this is the primary stain which we put over the bacteria sample. After primary stain, we put out the we wash that stain and then put the secondary stain as safranin. those gram positive bacteria get colored blue, and gram negative bacteria colored the secondary dye pink color, safranin. And why it happens, that you might ask me a question that, sir, first we have put the blue color dye and then all should be blue in color. Why? To differentiate two different things be obtained inside the slide. Why it happens? So the answer of this question is that, dear students, that because two types of bacteria are present there, that's why first get blue color and second get pink color. And the basic chemical reason over it, that the cell membrane thickness, the bacteria which is having low content of peptidoglycan, that cell wall cell membrane, thin cell wall cell membrane get washed out, and thick cell wall retain the color. So those retain the color, that is gram positive, and those color washed out and they get secondary color having the thin cell wall. That's why the decolorizer which we used, iodine, potassium iodine solution in that decolorizes the blue color of that bacteria, and they the color is fed up. And again when we add safranin as a secondary dye, it colored that. So in the slide, same slide, we get two types of bacteria. One is blue in color and second is pink in color. It all depends on the chemical composition of their cell wall. Cell membrane content, those having thick cell wall, their color do not fed up, do not decolorizes. Those having thin cell wall, their color, our decolorizer which we added after the staining, it enters that cell organelles and decolorizes them. That's why the blue color disappear. But those having thick cell wall, their blue color do not disappear because they are having thick cell wall. Our decolorizer, the chemical which added after the staining, do not able to enter inside the cell membrane. That's why their color retains. So this is the basic difference between that. So in the same sample, we obtained two types of bacteria. One is blue in color, and next is pink in color. So in this way, we will able to differentiate two types of bacteria with the help of gram staining. This is known as gram staining. Those having blue in color, gram positive; those having pink in color, known as gram negative bacteria. The third type, acid fast staining, also known as Gill-Nielsen staining, because the scientist which invented that technique, Gill-Nielsen, with the name of that scientist, it is also known as Gill-Nielsen staining. In that staining technique, dear student, we used two types of dye. One primary dye is carbamazepine, red in color, and next secondary dye, methylene blue in color. The same phenomena is also there. Low mycolic acid content in the cell wall enables the decolorizer to wash out the primary stain, and those bacteria which washed their primary stain need to color with the secondary stain, means they will become blue color, and those having thick mycolic acid content in their cell wall will retain primary stain which is red in color. So in this way also we differentiate two types of bacteria. First is acid fast, second is non-acid fast. So these are the techniques, dear student, with the help of which we can differentiate bacteria. So dear student, I hope you understand the basic composition of bacteria structure and differentiating techniques. If we move towards the next type, that is virus. Virus is the microorganisms which do not fall between the living structure or non-living structure, but it is the connecting link between the living and non-living. This happens why? Because until and unless it is not in the contact of living cell, it remains non-living. So earlier scientists thought that it resembles living but later on they found that it is connective link between the living and non-living, as it is consisting only genetic material surrounded with the protein code named as capsid, and it may contains RNA or DNA as a genetic material, but do not having together. It may have either double stranded or single stranded RNA, or may have DNA, but not both together. This is the characteristic point of this microorganism virus. It is very small in size as compared with the other microorganisms, and it is responsible for various diseases such as syphilis, AIDS, etc. Next, microorganism type is protozoa. Protozoa is the type of microorganisms which belongs to parasitic in nature. It fed up on other for their survival. It may resemble other plants by mutual relationship also. It performs sexual and asexual reproduction for developing new ones. Next type of microorganisms is the algae. Very crucial type of microorganisms which autotrophic in nature, means it prepares its own food with the help of photosynthesis, resembles plants such as Cyanophyta, hydrophytes, etc. Next type of microorganisms, dear student, is fungi. As I discussed in between the definition also, fungi belongs to eukaryotic type of cell. It is yeast as a single cell fungi and molds as a multicellular fungi. Fungi also having both type of reproduction as sexual and asexual, and fungi are of various types, saprophytes. Autotrophic fungi are also there, which live with the mutual relationship with the algae, which sometimes perform their own food preparation, but most of the times they perform feed on dead and decaying matter, means saprophytes. So dear students, these are the types of microorganisms which I discussed in the introductory class. Later on we will discuss them in detail one by one. Thank you.